Hi everybody! Hi Dr. Connie! Welcome back from the weekend. I got my spiffy glasses on. I'm wearing my awesome Doctor Who shirt. Isn't that awesome? The one that Spot gave me with all the doctors crammed into it. If you can tell by the fact that I'm wearing a comfortable t-shirt, glasses, and sneakers, that it's a LARP hangover kind of day. Yeah, Josh and I were like, coffee. Need coffee with breakfast. I'm still figuring this damn thing out. It's it's just not comfortable to sit at the desk. It's all weird. Um, so, yes, Matt Murphy hasn't shown his face yet. I've been looking forward to talking to him, but I don't know if he's coming in today or not, or if he's on vacation. So it is Thanksgiving week, so we will have shows today and tomorrow. Wednesday, probably not, because it's the Wednesday of Thanksgiving. No one's going to be around, and I have a flight to catch after work. I'm going to Vegas, which isn't nearly as exciting as it sounds. I'm going to visit my family. I don't really gamble. It's not my thing. So I hope you all had a fantastic weekend playing lots of video games. Everyone I know and their mother is playing Skyrim. And they just had the first meeting today to discuss Game of the Year for X-Play. I didn't sit in on it because I had to actually do my news tickers for X-Play, ironically enough. So I don't know what's going on. But it will be awesome. And there's Doug Buckman. Awesome as always. Question is, where's Matt Murphy? Game of the Year. You can imagine how hard that's going to be. Let's talk about that. What could it be? Now, I did not sit in on this meeting, so I have no idea who the nominees are or what's going on. If I had to choose, and this perspective comes from someone who watches the video game industry and as someone who writes about it, not as someone who actually plays these games. So I'm not choosing my favorite game because there wasn't a single game in 2011 that I wanted to play aside from maybe Catherine, and even that I didn't want to play that much because it looked really hard. I am interested somewhat in Skyrim, somewhat. So I really think it's going to be Skyrim, and here's why. I would definitely pick the top three as like Batman, Skyrim, Call of Duty, Minecraft might be a surprise in there, and let's see what else and Portal 2. Portal 2 got really good reviews. I mean, it's L.A. Noire. Wait, did L.A. Noire come out this year, or was that early, or was that last year? I can't remember when exactly did L.A. Noire come out, because that's also a really good contender, just because it was so unique. I don't think Assassin's Creed Revelations is going to get it, for the same reason why I think that Call of Duty is not going to win it compared to others. Now here's the thing. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Solid game. Good. Improves on Modern Warfare 2, which was also an excellent game. But no one's really talking about it past that. You know, I see so many people being so much more excited for Skyrim and having all these experiences and talking about their experiences than they're talking about Call of Duty. That's what I'm noticing. Because my guys, Rick, and all them, Spot, they were always talking about Call of Duty, and they're not really, like, into it now. They're really, really into it. No love for Zelda. You know, X-Play gave Zelda a 4 out of 5. They said, you know, it was good, but not perfect. There are certain things a lot of like gameplay mechanics and stuff that held it back from being a great game, which is why I don't think it's going to be a contender. Top 10, maybe. But I don't think it's going to make like top 5 or 6 for Game of the Year. So, so Skyrim is my personal pick, just based on what I've seen in the industry and the reactions from people, both gamers and people in the industry, fellow video game journalists, developers. My second choice would probably be Batman. I've been hearing amazing things about Batman. You have solid acting, you have solid gameplay, a lot of stuff to do, amazing environments, fun gameplay. It's up there. It's quite possibly the best superhero game ever made. Which is hard because most superhero games kind of suck. Why? For a lot of the same reasons that movie video games and anime video games suck. Because people spend so much money getting the licensing that they don't get it. They don't put the money into investing in making a quality game. Just saying. Sorry. Okay. What else is it? So I did Call of Duty, Skyrim, Batman. Okay, Portal 2. Solid, funny, very polished. I remember Morgan Webb saying that it was one of the most polished games she had ever seen. Very complete, well written. it took this sleeper hit and improved on it and brought new elements into it while still maintaining the same amazing humor and cultish mentality that it had. Gears 3, I don't know. I felt like Gears 3 was a lot of more of the same, but better, much like Call of Duty. Solid, good quality, but nothing really like spectacular. That really makes it stand out from every other, game out there. How do I feel about Machinima's 15-day live stream? That makes me tired just thinking about it. Just saying. I think it's awesome, but still very tough. Saints Row the Third, you're right, pure fun. Deserves some kind of an award. Because Saints Row has really improved. Like, I think people were just kind of like bleh about the first one. Like what is this crap? Saints Row 2, I think they really realized that they succeed by not taking themselves too seriously. And then they had good stuff. Saints Row 3 just played that up. Like, hey, this is what works. This is what our fans like, and they did it. I don't think it's quite powerful enough to make Game of the Year, though. Minecraft. Dark horse. Definitely a dark horse. Minecraft, it's one of those games that's so amazing for being so different and so simple. You think that Minecraft, you're like, why would anyone want this like blocky thing that just looks kind of lame compared to something as beautiful as Modern Warfare or Skyrim or Batman? And yet people love it and it's very addictive. The reason why I don't think it would win Game of the Year is that it's a little too cultish, much like Rocky Horror. Fun, people love it, people go crazy for it, but it's still a small group of people. It's not quite mainstream enough to grab enough attention to get Game of the Year. But good on them, they have amazing success though. Okay, let's see what else. I think that's L.A. Noire. L.A. Noire was also a good contender. Definitely a solid contender. Oh, and Red Dead Redemption. No, wait, or was that 2010? Shoot, when was Red Dead Redemption? Was that this year or last year? I think that was this year, right? Right? This year? Last year? Okay, good, then I don't have to worry about it. Crisis 2? No. Sorry, it all blurs for me. When it comes to Game of the Year's nominees, do handheld games get hard to choose from because the majority are mostly console games? If there's a really amazing handheld game that stands out, then yeah, it could get on there. I can't think of any though right now. Though I do feel you're right that I'm forgetting something. Let's see, where was it? Oh, L.A. Noire. So, L.A. Noire is a solid contender because it's so different. It's a very unique game. And the thing is, it actually reaches out really well to both roleplay fans, RPG fans, and to fans of like GTA and action stuff, because it has elements of both, which is why I think Mass Effect is really, really good. Because it reaches out to both of those audiences. And actually, I thought of something interesting. Hang on one sec. I'm going to see if I can get some. Oh, you're watching me. I was going to get you.
That's how creepy.
That is creepy. Come with me.
Guess what? I'm not watching you.
Okay, thank you.
What?
Yeah, you can just come over.
I know. But I have
You're
one
my
fun
guest
when I
now.
actually, like...
No, you're my guest now.
What?
You're my guest because I want you to talk about something. So we've been talking about Game of the Year.
What?
And someone brought up Sword and Sorcery. And this guy right here, Rob Manuel of XPlay, is an expert on indie games. So if there was like an indie game category for Game of the Year,
right,
you would be the guy to ask about it. So
right.
what would be like your top 5 picks?
Top 5 picks for indie games. Sword and Sorcery, obviously.
Yeah.
One of the top ones, I think.
Okay. And if you can explain a little bit of why.
Why? Because Sword and Sorcery is, well, it's on the iPhone as well, but it's sort of like the first sort of iPad game that made the best use of the iPad so far.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It has amazing graphics. It is just filled with very unique sort of elements to it. It is an experience. It is sort of like that indie movie that you have a hard time explaining to everyone else.
But you just love it.
You love
so
it. I
much.
mean, it is basically sort of like a Legend of Zelda. You are thrust into this world with only a sword and a shield, and you sort of have to rid it uh, from this evil presence that you sort of unleash
Whoops.
because you grab a book.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's great. It's beautiful. The soundtrack you can also pick up on the LP. Which is also amazing. I'm definitely trying to get it in for a soundtrack, but it's definitely something everyone should play. Another game everyone should play if you have Xbox Live is Blocks That Matter. It is a platforming game that's sort of a puzzle game, also meets Tetris, also meets a lot of other things. What the whole thing is that you play as a small robot that was being designed by two indie developers. And so they get kidnapped. And now you're this small robot who has to go out and save the two indie developers who have been kidnapped. And so your journey takes you underground and through ice and through snow and so on and so forth. You can destroy certain blocks while you're playing the game. And you can collect any number of blocks, but you can only bring them back in sort of like configurations of 4. So you have to sort of put them into sort of these Tetris sort of shapes in order to get from one point to another, or hit triggers, or to stop giant creatures, and so on and so forth. It's super fun. It's actually, I think it's only about $3
Nice.
to play, so
Nice.
you're not losing too much there. Another great indie game, Binding of Isaac, I think is an amazing game. And
What's it about?
Every time I explain the Binding of Isaac, I sound like a crazy person, which you are if you like these games. But Binding of Isaac is the story of a small boy whose mother hears the voice of God, who tells her to sacrifice her son in order to prove her love to him. And
so like that thing out of the Bible.
Exactly, like
Right.
Isaac. But in order to escape, he finds a trapdoor into the basement, which is 5 dungeons deep. And so you have to make your way through these 5 dungeons in order to get through. The great thing about Binding of Isaac is it's made by the same guys who did, or half of the team who did Super Meat Boy, and is sort of Super Meat Boy version of Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Where you only have one life.
And it sounds insanely hard, because Super Meat Boy was insanely hard.
It is insanely hard in the fact that you have one life. So you have a number of hearts as you're going into it, but you only have one life. Once you've used up all your hearts, that's it. There's no going back, there's no saving, so on and so forth.
So you have to play the whole thing.
You have to play it, even if you die in the 4th stage, you have to go straight from the very beginning all the way back. Everything is randomized. So all the enemies are in different places, all the items are in different places.
So you can't learn the patterns.
There's never a pattern to it.
Nice.
All the special rooms are in different places. All the special gear that you get for the bosses, even the bosses at the end of each level, is randomized. Now it's still sort of weighted, so like everything in level 1 is sort of weighted to a level 1 player, while everything in the 5th level is weighted to people who have gotten all the way to the 5th level with all that stuff. But you get random items, you get pills, you get tarot cards, you get lots of cool stuff, and you get like lots of random things, and really sort of like it has like a really cool look to it, has a really cool sort of style to it. Everything you pick up is also used on it, so like you can pick up like lipstick, which happens to give you more firepower. By the way, your firepower in the game is your tears. So you use tears in order to beat down enemies. And so lipstick gives you, I think, more health, or I think, no, it gives you more firepower, and he's actually wearing lipstick. You can pick up things like women's underwear, bras, coat hangers, the plague, shrink ray, different hats. You can turn into like a demon. But you can pick up like a cat's head, like a floating cat's head, which is really cool. I mean, there's so much to it, and there's so much creativity.
Very creative.
It's very creative, and once again, it's made by like sort of like the same sort of twisted minds who made Super Meat Boy. Another one.
What about Amnesia?
Amnesia was last year.
Oh, what? Damn,
Yeah, see,
I keep doing that.
Amnesia is a great game. If you haven't played Amnesia, you should play Amnesia.
I'm just not into the 2011
right now.
games, so go
Right
play
now,
Amnesia.
just go and play Amnesia. It's super cheap. I'm sure you can find it for like $5 somewhere. But Amnesia is one of those games that once, like again and again and again, like 5-6 years from now, like you could still go back and play it, and it'd still be just as good because of like sort of the style, the art, and sort of like it's doing something that very few other games are doing right now, which is scaring the crap out of you.
I don't know if I could play it just because it's the first person point of view. I'd probably get nauseous after.
It doesn't actually sort of. It doesn't do one of these.
I know, but
little
still
things.
it's the first person point of view. I get the similarities.
Right.
But it looks interesting. I would watch someone play it for a couple minutes and then I played it myself. Come in, it's fine. Everyone walks by.
fine.
That's the whole point.
There's
That's Adam.
there's
Not Adam.
another one of the games that I really enjoy, Solar 2.
Oh, really?
Right.
For Xbox Live. I think it's $3, $5, something like that. Boop.
See my boobs. See my boobs.
It is a game where you play as a rock in the middle of space.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you basically run into other rocks. It is the Katamari of space.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
you are trying to build like a larger rock, which then builds a planet, which then builds a solar system, which then builds like larger solar systems, and you're trying to build like other planets with life on it to develop like ships to wreck other planets and other spaceships and stuff like that.
Those are fun.
It's super fun.
Cool. And those are your picks, do you think? Top indies of 2011.
There's so many. It is indie games have come like such a long way.
That's true, especially in the last few years.
In the last few years, and also like right now, seems to be like such a an outgrowth of these indie titles because you have Xbox Live, you have PSN, you have PC, you have the iPad and the iPhone. Like you have so many
different options.
You have so many different ways to get your game out there, and there's so many different people. Like once again, like Minecraft now actually is being released finally.
Yeah.
It was just released. It was just released finally last Friday, and it actually just was released for the
iPhone,
iPad,
right?
iPad,
iStuff,
what else? On there last Friday as well, and over they had 1 million people who bought it last year at the beginning of about this time, and now they're up to 4 million paid users with an additional like 20 million people who have at least tried the free game or probably just pirated it. So it is an amazing work. They keep doing more and more stuff with it. It is practically Skyrim now with blocks.
See you, Jeff. Well, I will let you get back to your desk, which ironically enough, he was watching this show when I came over to his desk.
I actually,
and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, wait, you're watching the show on your computer.
Because I sometimes pop in and actually say things.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what your screen name is. That's like, maybe you shouldn't tell them. You'll be the mystery.
I think you could figure out who I am.
Is it a name of yours that I would recognize?
You would probably recognize if you actually read
I'm gonna have to keep looking. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for it.
Okay, now I'm just not gonna pop back in.
Oh, you pop back in until I figure out who you are. Thank you for coming by, Rob. Wow, that's Josh, you're not gonna join me now? It says Rob Manuel. Oh, and by the way, he writes Read the Effin' Manual at g4tv.com every weekend, so you should go and read it if you want to learn more about indie games. He's a man. Hi, Josh. You want to have a seat? Want to sit?
No, I'm
You're going to leave? Okay, well, I'm out of here in like 5 minutes.
It's like that time to go.
Okay. Well, good night. Enjoy your Josh got a spiffy new coat this weekend.
You don't.
I didn't get a new coat. I just have blisters on my toes from wearing uncomfortable shoes. Yeah. Someone was asking something earlier that I meant to touch on. I know you guys were asking a lot of questions. Sorry, you're just having that talk. Sometimes you just get into a subject and then you just talk it up. I do that all the time. Old Republic comes out on the December 20th. Is that in the run for Game of the Year? No, because most people will be done with their Game of the Year stuff before then, including us, because most of the time, by the time the holidays come out, people have already decided their Game of the Years, and people go on vacation. during those seasons. It is the 2 weeks between Christmas and New Year's are the slowest weeks in all of video game journalism. I should know. I've been doing this for years. So very likely it will be in the running for like the 2012 Game of the Year because people need time to actually play it for a while and review it. Oh, so I am signed up for the beta for next weekend. Ironically enough, it runs like Wednesday through Sunday, and I plan to be completely booked the entire time. Like I said, I'm going out of town for Thanksgiving, coming back on Sunday, but I have a tabletop game booked the entire day, so maybe I can play with it. The beta for Star Wars: The Old Republic. Maybe I'll be able to play it for 5 hours. So it's going to be interesting because I'm going to attempt to install it on my laptop tonight. Attempt being the key word. You guys have heard my horror stories about Walter. He is not a gaming PC. It's being worked on, Iceman. It's being worked on. What game? I told you, Star Wars: The Old Republic. PS1 Resident Evil games still make you poop your pants. That's good. That means that they stand the test of time. And that's usually a good series. I mean, I go back and play old Final Fantasy games. I have lots of fun with them. Actually, a friend of mine was playing, Final Fantasy 13 when I was visiting him this weekend, and, like, it made me nostalgic, because I wanted to go back and play it again. Well, I don't really want to play the story again. I just want to... There's a lot of grinding that I opted not to do at the end that I could do, so I'm thinking, what kind of game is G4? G4 is not a game. We are a TV network. You just made Matt Murphy. You hear that? Matt Murphy just busted out laughing.
Oh.
Hi, Matt Murphy.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is you're a winner. Congratulations, kid. No, Matt Murphy's busy at his desk, and Matt, I need to talk to you about something when we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a television network. You can check your local listings, your cable listings. Unless you have DirecTV, then sorry. You can also find out more at g4tv.com, which is an amazing website about video games. Awesome. We mostly talk about video games, but other geek stuff too, like Doctor Who t-shirts. Awesome. That comes on all the time. He's busy right now. Kitty! There's a kitty in Camp Flat 5. You guys know me. If I see a cat, I'm just distracted. Inside the Actor Studio. If G4 were a game, what would it be? Oh, it's like Inside the Actor Studio. I don't know. Actually, we did have an X-Play game once, a little Flash game, and we had a Ninja Warrior game. Website, the Ninja Warrior one was hard. Hard. Can't wait for some new Doctor Who. Well, you're going to be waiting a while. You're going to be waiting till Christmas. Pretty much. Oh, wait. Actually, that's not that far out. For some strange reason, I thought it was like September. It's going to be a while before he sees it. Oh, boy. Video games. Skyward Sword just came out. We had a review on X-Play today. We're having a review of Rayman Origins on tomorrow. Hey, don't spoil The Walking Dead. I need to actually sit down and watch that on Netflix because I'm lame. What do you think of the Doctor Who movie that's in the makes? We were actually talking about that last week. We were saying that it really needs to be a standalone Doctor Who. So, like, you don't need to follow the TV series in order to follow it. You know, it needs to be very... I think it would have to have, like, one-shot companions, meaning a companion who came along for one adventure, which happens in several episodes, where the Doctor will separate from his usual companion and just have, like, a standalone episode. Don't know who would play the Doctor, when it would take place, because, you know, it's time. You can play with time, and you just have the story set whenever. So I don't know. I think it would be awesome if it was, like, a collision of multiple Doctors or time and space, but it might not make sense, and people who didn't watch the TV series wouldn't get the joke that they're all guys who played it. Your only real wait on your next game would be Kid Icarus Uprising and Soul Calibur 5, which is probably going to be a while. Yeah, look, Kid Icarus is coming out fairly soon, I thought. It's in the make. It's being made. Soul Calibur 5 will probably be sometime next year. Captain Picard and Superior. Who else would I want as the Doctor? Oh, I was saying Daniel Radcliffe as the Doctor would be pretty fun. I don't really know British actors that well. Or Hugh Laurie. Can you imagine Hugh Laurie as the Doctor? I think that'd be kind of cool. What are you laughing at?
It's funny.
It is funny. I think he could be kind of good. People are so used to seeing him cranky. The question is, would he be quirky? Well, then again, Hugh Laurie's an actor. He can handle it. I mean, he did Black Adder. For goodness sake, he can do it.
Hey, hello, Eric.
There's a new Assassin's Creed game coming out next year. Yep. Yep, there is. Yet another Assassin's Creed game, but it might be made by a different studio, which has me a bit worried. Just saying. House has outgrown its charm. A lot of people are feeling that way. It's getting old. It becomes a point every TV show has that. Could it finally be Assassin's Creed 3? I don't know. I'm not thinking so. Although doesn't Brotherhood and Revelations kind of like, don't they all kind of go together? I don't really know much about the plot. I've seen my roommate play some, read stuff, but I don't really know all that much. I don't know when GeForce came back to DirecTV. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a producer. I don't handle that contract stuff. That's for lawyers. Glorified expansion packs. Well said. Well said. Yeah, I think it's about time for us to wrap things up. I'm gonna go home. I'm trying to decide if I want to go to a radio show. I'm tired. I have LARP hangover. I'm tired. Alright, so I will see you back here at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow for more G4 chats. And I'll go burn some noobs in the meantime. Okay, good night, everybody.